Hi everyone, I'm back. It's so great to be back. I've been busy with school, work, and a lot of church stuff too, but here I am. Before we continue, I just wanted to say that it's been so long since I've made a talking video like this. So, honestly, it feels kind of weird, even though I've done this for many, many years now, but it's just, camera in front of me doing all this and that, I mean, I still got it in me, but just something I have to get used to again. So second semester of school started for me a few weeks ago, and one of the textbooks assigned for the class is called The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. It's a really popular book about personal development. So I recently started reading this book and finished reading up about the first habit, and I wanted to make this video to share my thoughts and summarize this book for you all because I think it's a really cool book. And I think that we can apply the concepts covered in this book in our daily lives to make ourselves better people. So a brief summary into the 7 habits. Habit 1. Be proactive. Habit 2. Begin with the end in mind. Habit 3. Put first things first. Habit 4. Think win-win. Habit 5. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. Habit 6. Synergize. Habit 7. Sharpen the saw. So first off, the habit is defined as the intersection of knowledge, skill, and desire. It's a behavior pattern. So the habits are intended to bring about the maximum long-term beneficial results possible, pretty much to make you into a better person. The first 3 habits deal with self-mastery and helps you move from dependence to independence. We'll talk about the other habits in later videos, but for now, habit number 1, be proactive. So for my understanding of this concept, we have the freedom to choose how we react to our experiences in life. And to be proactive really means that we are responsible for our own lives and the actions that we put out. Some of our experiences hurt us because we allowed them to. We willingly let the bad experiences get the better of us. But the truth is that it doesn't have to be that way. We are in control. Then the book gets into distinguishing between reactive and proactive language that people use. Reactive would be saying stuff like, this person makes me mad. I have to do this. I can't do this. That's just the way I am. On the other hand, proactive would be saying stuff like, I can do this instead. I will do this. I choose to do this. I control my actions and thoughts. You can see a lot of that proactive language showing a lot of that idea that you are in control of your situation. The book then goes on to explain a concept called the circle of concern and the circle of influence. The circle of concern is pretty much all the things that you have concern about, such as your health, your family, school, work. So within this big circle of concern, we come to realize that there are some things in there that we can do something about, and that's where we would create that circle of influence within the circle of concern. A reactive person would focus their time and energy into the circle of concern, which would pretty much lead them to being miserable. On the other hand, a proactive person would focus their time and energy in the circle of influence, doing what they can from their end. A good example that illustrates this concept about the circle of influence for the proactive person would be in an organization, whether it's voluntary or for a job. Let's say for a job, you got your boss. Let's say the boss is not the best person out there, and because of that, the employees are all upset because the boss isn't the best person out there. So the employees, a lot of them would just complain to each other going, oh my goodness, our boss is terrible. But the proactive person would instead try to understand where the boss is coming from in terms of the orders and what the assignments are. Try to understand what the boss needs and then try to work with it. Deliver, and if you understand your boss very well, then you can over-deliver and provide extra input to the stuff that your boss wants you to do. After doing that, the boss would really appreciate that and respect you more. As you can see from the proactive employee, instead of complaining and not having a solution, he took a different approach to it. He worked with the situation, he adapted to the situation, he worked with the boss, he understood his boss better, and in the end, there's a better understanding between both sides. And as you can see from the reactive people, the complainers, there's no solution, and it's all bad from there. Nothing's being done. Next, the book goes on to explain the haves and the bees. The circle of concern is filled with the haves. If only I had this or that. If only I had better friends. If I had a degree. if I had a house. And as you can see, the haves, it's kind of filled with some negative energy out there that you don't want. The circle of influence is filled with the bees. It's more character focused. I can be kind. I can be more patient and understanding. I can be more loving. The bees show that you're taking more control and responsibility for your life. That's a good thing. At this point, it becomes very clear that the solution starts with you. The book then goes on to explain about learning from your mistakes. When you make a mistake, acknowledge it, correct it immediately. If you don't, it will bite you in the future. The last concept talks about making and keeping commitments, which is extremely important to being proactive, because it shows that you're taking the steps to be in control of your life and to work towards the results that you desire. For me, I found that this habit is really applicable to my life. Some examples are the following. For school, instead of thinking, oh, if only I was smarter, instead I would study harder, study better, study differently if the first time wasn't working. Did that for many years, and flash forward to today, I think it's working really well. Next one would be, instead of letting a trash talker get to me, I would just move on with my life because there are other things out there that I need to worry about. I choose not to let the trash talker get to me. For health, instead of sitting in my room all day thinking, ugh, I'm so unhealthy, I did something about it, and then I ended up exercising at least 3 times a week and try to eat differently. So for a lot of us, it's really hard to go a complete 180 at the snap of a finger like that. So, I started off with doing a small goal of just exercising at least 3 times a week. If it works out, then great, I'm gonna keep doing it, or if I could do even better than that, then I'll probably go 4 or 5 days a week. But point being is that, I set a goal for myself and then I went for it. I took one step at a time, even though it was only 3 times a week. It's still something. It's still a goal. It's still something that I move forward with and work towards because that was the result I desired, which is to be healthy. For cooking, instead of thinking, ugh, if only I knew how to cook, I became Chef Socrates. Learn from mom, learn from YouTube, learn from Google, learn from cookbooks. I'm in a way better position today in 2020 than I was back in end of 2018. Being proactive by taking control of my life and making decisions that'll help me achieve the things that I want really made me into a happier person and made me realize that, wow, I really can make changes and that I can do great things. So that's habit 1, be proactive, from the 7 habits of highly effective people. So far, I think this book is a really amazing book. I highly recommend everybody to check it out. It's really accessible online. Again, it's a really popular book. And I'll see you all next time to talk about the next habit. Leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more epic videos. This is me, Socrates. Until next time.